But I got money in the bank, gold in the safe, 30 in the clip, I got more in my waist. Done the whole shit, I can let it go to waste. Hold up. But I got money in the bank, gold in the safe, 30 in the clip, I got more in my waist. Done the whole shit, I can let it go to waste.
This live stream may contain content that could be perceived as shocking or offensive, but it is presented solely for educational purposes. Viewer discretion is advised. We strive to adhere to community guidelines, and any potentially sensitive material is shared with the intent of fostering understanding and learning.
Yo, what's up, good people? It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard, coming to you with today's live stream. We're going to call this Security Guard News. A couple of different stories I want to hit on. The first one, though, really sad situation. I don't know what's going on in Missouri. I moved to Portland, Oregon from Missouri, and a couple of stories that we've done over the last couple of weeks, they involve police officers and dogs. I'm a dog lover. You know, it's sad that we're having repeat situations. Now, this one is not as egregious as the Sturgeon police officer. You guys will remember the Sturgeon police officer was the doofus of a police officer that shows up and kills that tiny little dog known as Teddy. Sturgeon, Missouri, now in the middle of a federal lawsuit against that officer. This situation, it comes out of an area called Savannah, which I looked, it's about 60 miles, either south or north. My directions are off of Kansas City. The issue specifically is that a canine dog was left overnight in a car. Right now, the entire country in the grips of a heat wave, and this canine officer ultimately passed away. So let me get some of the information here. Residents in the small town of Savannah, Missouri, they're outraged after a canine officer died after being left in a hot car. David Vincent, chief of the Savannah Police Department, confirmed on Sunday to local TV station KCTV that the dog Horus died Thursday after complications from staying in the car after an overnight shift. The outlet reports that the investigation into this incident is ongoing, but Horus's death is currently considered an accident. And it also says, according to the Weather Channel, temperatures reached 88 degrees in Savannah, which is about an hour north of Kansas City. Temperatures on Thursday, however, hit around 90 degrees. Let's bring in the video. The video credit is going to be coming from KQ2 News of Kansas City. The link is in the description. Let's get right to it.
Savannah Police Department has confirmed the death of K-9 Officer Horus. Savannah Police Chief David Vincent confirming to KQ2 that the K-9 officer passed away on Thursday after completing an overnight shift. This comes after we started to feel concerns from citizens on Friday regarding their concerns about the absence of Horus. We spoke with Andrew County Presiding Commissioner Brad Jarvis, who received numerous calls and concerns about the K-9 officer. Jarvis began communication with Andrew County Prosecutor Monica Mori on the situation. In a statement to KQ2, Prosecutor Mori said the Andrew County Prosecuting Attorney's Office is deeply saddened to learn of K-9 Horus's passing. We are grateful to him for his service to our community. I have requested a special investigation through the Missouri State Highway Patrol. I will await the results of this investigation prior to making any determination of necessary action. The Savannah Police Department have said they believe the death is accidental.
I mean, accidental in terms of the fact that he was in the car, but this is something that could have been avoided. Now, I read some information from a story online where the officer is said to have routinely left, and this is allegedly, of course, routinely left Horus in the car. You know, I was looking into becoming a canine officer for one of our local hospitals. This was about a year and a half ago. And one of the things that they required is that if you were going to be a canine handler, you had to have an area specifically set up in the house for the canine dog itself. They would come out, they would evaluate that. They had to see the kennel, the areas where the dog was going to roam and play. You know, leaving the dog inside the car was not an option. And that was for a security job at a hospital. You know, for me, it's just hard to imagine that this is protocol, that this is something that's acceptable, because in many areas, leaving a dog stranded alone in a hot vehicle is against the law. Now, I had looked into whether or not it was illegal in Missouri. And so let me see if there's let's see here. There was some information. Now, here it goes. So in Missouri, it says, although the Show Me State has general laws banning animal cruelty in place, Missouri lacks a specific provision regulating leaving pets in vehicles. It says that Missouri residents are severely limited in what actions they can take when they see an animal left in a car. The president of the Humane Society of Missouri wrote in a letter in 2017. You know, there's countless videos in California, some of the more left-leaning states, where if you see a dog that's left in a car, a hot car on a certain day of a certain temperature, you can actually break that window. You know, I think here in Oregon, there's similar laws to that, but I'm very interested to see what is going to be the outcome of a situation like that and what should happen to this officer. I don't think that we should gloss over it. I think that some people will look at a story like this and say, hey, look, you know, it's an accident, things happen. But you have to keep in mind that a canine dog is seen no differently than a normal police officer. An assault on a canine dog is an assault on an officer. If you were to kill a canine dog, it's like killing a police officer. So in this situation, I think that it needs to be taken with a little bit more seriousness. And I'm hopeful that something happens to this. I looked on YouTube. There's countless cases in other states where police officers who have done the exact same thing, a lot of them have gotten terminated. Some of them have been prosecuted. So I'm interested to see what happens with this going forward. I'll be keeping my eyes on this and then bringing you guys information as it comes available. So the second thing I want to talk about is a situation that is coming out of San Antonio. And this is in regards to a law that was passed, I believe, last year that requires every single school to have at least one armed officer on location. Again, this is coming out of Texas. We're going to bring in the story via San Antonio. Let's see if I got the news link here. Story is going to be via NWS4 of San Antonio. Let me pull this in. Stand by. I'm going to add this here and we will get right to the story. Here we go.
Now to the latest with security in our local schools. With the start of the new school year less than 2 months away, one district is expected to take action tonight on a plan to put armed marshals on its school campuses.
News 4 San Antonio's Ethan Trejo tells us more about tonight's vote and where other districts stand when it comes to school security.
School safety continues to be a rising topic of conversation among San Antonio's biggest districts. They're all trying to follow the ruling of House Bill 3, which requires at least one armed security guard to be present at all times during regular school hours. For districts here, they're all looking for the best way to implement it.
We decided to post what we call safety specialist positions across the district, and it's been highly successful at this point.
Northeast ISD's Aubrey Chancellor says they have a selective process when hiring campus security.
Most of the people that we've been lucky enough to hire extensive background in law enforcement, retired military, and emergency management. So our candidates have really been excellent, and we're pleased with how it's working thus far.
But roughly 15% of those safety specialist positions are unfilled, and they're not alone. Although they have more than 120 officers, Northside ISD told us they have 40 vacancies in their district police department. Those unfilled positions are causing some schools to turn to the school marshal program. That program allows current staff to obtain their marshal's license, which allows them the ability to carry a firearm on campus. This past Wednesday, South San ISD trustees unanimously voted to implement that program for the next year. But they won't be arming their teachers. Instead, they'll arm their employed security officers. Trustees for Medina Valley ISD are considering the same decision. We'll have the results of that decision tonight on News 4 San Antonio at 10. Ethan Trejo, News 4 San Antonio.
Guys, I got to tell you, I absolutely fucking love this story. I love this story. This is the first time where I can look and see, and I know there's other states, other areas that are allowing their teachers to carry firearms, but regardless of politics, this is a situation where people are addressing the issue of school security. I think that the fact that the governor passed a law, or we'll say that the Senate or the House, whoever formulated this, passed a law that mandates there be armed security at every school in Texas. I think that is an absolute amazing move towards the safety of the kids. Now, regardless of politics, how you look at it, these things have to be addressed. The issue of safety of our children in the school systems is something that clearly it's not going away. The problem has not gotten any better. If anything, over the last 10 to 15 years, it's gotten worse. And I'm so happy to see that there's an actual effort to address this. The fact that they are 15% short tells you that there's been a huge number of people who have stepped up to answer that call to protect those children. And as they're finding that there's still a shortage, what are they doing? They're not throwing their hands up. They're not saying that there's nothing that we can do. They're leaning into a program that is going to allow armed security officers to get a marshal's license to be able to have that firearm on the campus to be able to answer that call. This is a great thing. And unfortunately, you know, I wish that more people could take the political aspect of how you view guns, how you view potential firearms on campus, and really just look at this from the position of what can we do to address the problem, right? There is a problem of a lack of protection for our children in the school systems. And I'm just I'm thrilled with this program. I'm thrilled with the opportunity and the options that are there. And I just wish, I wish that we could get more school systems and people. It's not about the school systems, right? It's about the people. I wish we could get more people to take the politics out of it. What do we hear all the time? Common sense approach, right? Common sense gun control, common sense approach to safety. You know, if you look at that from the standpoint of a lot of people, the thought of having someone there at that location to meet the threat, that doesn't even register, right? How can you have a common sense approach if you're taking out the one thing that's necessary to address the situation? So for me, this is a great thing. I'm really excited for it. I've also heard from some security guards who live in Texas. I think the median wage for a security guard, an armed security guard in most Texas areas, is around $25 an hour. The school systems, from what I'm being told, they're paying in the upwards of $35 to $40 an hour. Now, if you're in some of these areas of Texas where the cost of living is a little bit lower, this is a great opportunity for people to make a hell of a good living. So I don't know if any of you security guards who are watching this channel, who subscribe to this platform, if you're in the position where you could potentially move, but it sounds like, and you would have to do your own due diligence, it sounds like the opportunities are there for guards who want to work in the school system protecting children in Texas. And I believe that there's a lot of great opportunities. If you can get a marshal's license, think about this. If you can get a marshal's license, being able to work in that school system, I would assume you could also get other work, other contract work on the side. And again, if you're making $35 to $40 an hour in an area of Texas outside of, say, Austin, Houston, Dallas, some of these more maybe expensive areas to live, and you're able to utilize that license on the side, you could be living really, really high on the hog. I think it's a great opportunity. So anyway, those are two of the stories that I wanted to share with you guys this morning. I'm not going to hold you too much longer. I do want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think having the security guards in the school system armed, as mandated by the legislature of Texas, is that an idea that should be implemented everywhere? How do we address that conversation? How can we get people who are staunchly anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment to come to the middle of the aisle and start to have these types of discussions? Because short of having people there, how do you address the threat once it shows up? I think this is a great thing. And I would love to see some of your thoughts, some of your feedback on this. Is this something that we could implement across the board? And what are your thoughts on the K-9 officer's death as related to the handler? Should the handler be held responsible? Should he be fired? Should he be arrested? Or should this be deemed an accident and everybody just move forward? Give me your thoughts, give me your feelings, give me your feedback. As always, if you want to support what we're doing here, couple of things that you can do: like, share, and subscribe. And then also, if you want to help us out, you can go to bonesandbrewsecuritygear.com. Again, that's bonesandbrewsecuritygear.com. Get yourself a security-based t-shirt or a dope morale patch and help support what we are doing. Don't forget, we have an awesome 21st century report writing class available. I will put that in the first pinned comment. Click on that if you want to help educate and elevate yourself as a security guard. As always, if you're working today, please be careful, watch your back, watch your six, and you know what I'm going to say? Be great. All right, guys, be great.
But I got money in the bank, gold in the safe, 30 in the clip, I got more in my waist. Done the whole shit, I can let it go to waste. Hold up. But I got money in the bank, gold in the safe, 30 in the clip, I got more in my waist. Done the whole shit, I can let it go